Let's talk AI defections, because apparently there's a lot happening around this Meta superintelligence effort. Mark Zuckerberg has, already announced their superintelligence lab, and that he is full court press on using their piles of money to hire and acquire all of the leading names and people and companies, whatever they need to do to ensure that they can do their superintelligence department. And one of the big ones that made the news this week was Apple losing Ruoming Pang. Sorry. I'm sure I got that wrong, almost certainly. The leading executive in Apple's foundation models team. And Meta has lured Pang with the offer of, quote, tens of millions of dollars per year, not just tens of millions of dollars per year. So we're talking NBA money, man. Like, this is crazy.
I thought you said MBA. No, NBA.
NBA, yes. We're talking like major sports players, that they don't even get deals like this. He managed a team of 100 engineers at Apple working on core AI models for Apple Intelligence, Siri, priority notifications, Genmoji, all the major AI efforts at Apple. And, just kind of another blow for Apple, which is already kind of in a challenging situation when it comes to their AI strategy.
And that's what I've been thinking about buying Perplexity, rumor has it.
That's right.
I've said this the last 2 weeks in the show, so I'll say it again, is I just see a bubble being blown up here around Meta and desperation around Meta. So in a way, Meta is winning everybody right now, but then they better have a lot to show for it, especially to the shareholders. It's like, okay, you spent hundreds of millions of dollars on just the people, plus God knows what billions of dollars on all the technology and the server farms and all that. What are we getting for it? I saw somebody, I forget who it was. Oh, I think it was Stratechery, which was a case where I wanted to use smarter AI because Ben is brilliant, but always writes things that are 10 feet long.
Oh, they're massive. Yeah.
Yeah. So I asked it to summarize, and its summaries on that experiment, summarize, it's always simplistic. Well, he writes about this, he writes about that. It's like a third grade book report. It's a book about the Civil War. So, okay, then you want to know, well, what about it?
Yeah.
And so I started asking it, well, what's its conclusion? And according to AI, which may have gotten Ben wrong, because I didn't read the whole Ben column by a long shot, was that Meta may win versus Google, because Meta is trying to do kind of AI in your life. But I don't know that I see that. When you've listed the AIs that you've used, I've never heard you say, well, I went to Meta for blank, right?
No, Meta AI is one of them that I really haven't spent any time with. I mean, nothing considerable. It's certainly not one that I turn to.
No.
And yeah, I probably have access to it. I mean, I almost certainly have some sort of access to it, but no, I don't consider it.
I mean, I've gone to use Meta AI. I think I've said before, my favorite, this is the using AI show, but that's okay.
That's fine.
I use it often as a thesaurus for old men. There's a word I can't quite remember that's about this and about that, and I'm looking for a word that does this, and I use them all. Meta AI is very good as a very expensive thesaurus. And I've used it for that, but I don't think to go to it.
No, neither do I. And I mean, here I am, meta.ai. I'm not even logged in. I could start interacting with it. Like, does Meta AI have a $200 a month plan? Like they all do now?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just realizing as we're talking about it, I probably should spend some time with Meta AI just to see like what would be the thing that I would use that for exactly. How does it differentiate?
So they also have a canvas. I don't know what Imagine is.
Imagine is create an image.
Just an image. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not okay.
Create an image of a dog as a king is one example. Yeah. So that's basically what Imagine is. Google uses that nomenclature as well for Imagine This, which is a feature I think on Pixel phones that you do, and that's how you create images. So they all walk in similar places.
So anyway, Zuckerberg is, as he bet the farm on Meta, right? And that kind of went nowhere. And he got punished for it for a little while, but the stock is up People still think that there's something there. He's putting a target on his back, I think, unless he's got some grand plan.
I mean, yeah, that's true. He's certainly not making friends, I imagine, by being so. But I mean, isn't it just the way business
It's the way it is.
works? It's just the way it is. I mean, sorry.
He's increasing the cost for everybody.
Yeah, I guess so. He's raising the level a little bit. I mean, Pang had only been with the Apple team since 2021, so he's it's not like he's a lifer, an Apple lifer. Prior to that, he was at Alphabet. He was principal software engineer across a number of Alphabet's LLM projects, but in 2021 defected to Apple and now to Meta, which, I mean, we've been following Silicon Valley and technology companies for decades at this point. This is totally how it works when you work in Silicon
all
Valley.
you had to do was buy him free lunch and a foosball table.
Yeah.
And it was fine. Now you got to get him hundreds of millions of dollars
a year.
So the information via Gizmodo had a story and that said that OpenAI is putting out so much stock-based compensation that it's it's larger than the company's entire revenue. It's 119% of its revenue is stock-based compensation. Those are bills they're going to have to pay in essence in the future.
But they're saying we're going to be able to because we're OpenAI.
Worth so much, yeah.
We're so worth so much, yeah.
I mean, for comparison, Google's stock compensation was just 16% of revenue in the year before its IPO. Facebook's was 6%. So this is what...
And OpenAI's is what again?
119% of the revenue.
Jeez. That's not just a little different. That's completely different.
This is, again, according to the information, and I'm reading it on Gizmodo.
Wow.
Its stock-based compensation for employees surged more than 45-fold last year to an astonishing $4.4 billion. Their revenue was $3.7 billion. So that's what Zuck has done.
Yeah.
He's increased the hell out of the cost of AI, and that just feels, once again, bubbly.
Yeah, it does. When you put it like that, especially, it does. And this is not the only move that's happened this week. Meta also nabbed Daniel Gross, who's been leading Safe Superintelligence. This is the AI startup that launched last year under co-founder Ilya Sutskever. Sutskever is now going to assume the CEO role of SSI. Meta had attempted to acquire SSI for their superintelligence efforts, but Sutskever declined the offer, said that it can achieve this goal without being distracted by acquisition offers like the ones coming from Meta.
But it's not doesn't speak well for the company's plans that Meta was able to hire away its head.
Yeah, well, that's true.
You know, here I can be my own company where I can have huge amounts of our own equity, and no, I think I'm going to go work for Zuck.
Yeah. Well,
if I were a VC looking at SSI, I'd be
why? Yeah. What? Yeah, that's a really good point. I hadn't considered that. You know, as lowly me sitting in the corner of a den doing podcasts, I'm like, I don't know. Someone comes along and says, you know, tens of millions of dollars per year. Like, I'd be pretty quick to jump on it. But I guess if you're,
I hate to say it, Jason, but I think your price is even lower than that.
It's a little just lower. A little. I don't want to discourage it. You know, anyone wants to give me tens of millions of dollars a year.
A single $10 million a year, you might get them. You might.
Yeah, totally. I'm good there.
Try.
You know,
just try.
Until retirement, you got
that plus free lunch and a foosball table. I think you got them.
Although I don't really have the room for a foosball table. Anyways, but you know, I guess people who are founders who are working at this level, they think about this stuff differently, right? Yeah. And yeah, that's just not a part of my brain that I guess I have, where I'm like, I feel so confident about this thing that I'm going to say no to the massive, you know, overwhelming amount of money, the immediate payout versus long-term vision. But you know, it is a gamble, and when it pays off big, and I guess you rule the world. Unfortunately.
Yeah, it depends on kind of where you are in that. It's I'm suddenly a senior moment. I'd ask Meta right now, but I'll ask you instead. The wonderful photo sharing application that Yahoo bought and ruined years ago.
Was it not Tumblr?
No, photo sharing. Oh,
yeah.
Our friends in the chat will tell me in a second. But anyway, It was bought for $40 million.
Okay.
And people were pissed because they knew that Yahoo was going to ruin it. But at some point, it's a life-changing amount of money. $40 million, not
Flickr.
Flickr. Thank you, Flickr. I knew it was an F, but
there we go. Yeah.
Usually when I say it starts with, I'm always wrong. So Flickr, yeah, and the wonderful founders of Flickr, and people were mad at them. But how could you be mad at them? $40 million is a hell of a lot of money.
I know.
And
totally,
they got divorced. It was 20 each. Okay.
I mean, that's
one of them went on to
solid.
start Slack. So
doing all right.
Yeah, and if you're gross, though, you think, well, I'll have my own company with huge equity, or I'll be an employee.
Yeah,
it's such a different way to think about it.
It is a different way to think about it, unless and also probably part of that equation is short-term loss, long-term gain from the perspective of, I'm now just an employee. But how long do I need to be an employee for before I can bounce and again do the next big thing?
Yes.
And it seems like every time they do that, wash, rinse, repeat, it ends up being kind of they've got far more interest / equity / investor backing for any of their ideas because they've already proven their track record prior to it, and so it's just kind of a long-term vision game, I guess, at that point.
Yeah. And speaking of which, our friend Jan LeCun, you can look up the show and watch when we interviewed him, was on with all these hirings. People were going around about, like, where are you, Jan, and what's going on, Jan? And he made
I've
a
been
big
curious
point
about that too. Yeah,
I am too. But he made a big point of saying, listen, he is in the high-end research. What he does pays off in 5 years or longer. That's where he is. What Zuck's hiring for now is people who are going to do product now.
Right.
And I think it's important to keep in mind. As I've been going down this wonderful rabbit hole about the triode vacuum tube, and how important it is, it's fascinating to see as the beginnings of broadcast happened, the link between pure science and applied science and technology. And technology is where it gets really applied. And pure science, they're just doing it for the sake of the science. And the different motivations people have in that string and how things get developed in that. And we're in a whole new string of huge development right now. And I don't think there's much kind of pure research, pure science going on. Well, maybe I'll deny myself right away. I mean, is DeepMind more like RCA or more like Bell Labs? Right? Is Jan LeCun's work more like Bell Labs or AT&T? Right? And I think we need the Bell Labs because that's where the transistor came from. That's where the triode vacuum tube was turned into the transistor, solid state, and that happened through pure research, which quickly got applied. If all you're dealing with is the application layer, you're not going to have the discoveries because you're going to be too tied to the market.
Yeah,
but if you're not tied with the market, you're not going to solve problems. So it's that combination where the magic occurs. It's so fascinating.